Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is March 20th, 2022, and we are watching. We are watching all of the biblical references between the end of winter, the beginning of spring. We have the connection to Purim, and we have the connection to the abomination that Jesus told us to look for right here at the beginning of spring. So I want to just put some things together for you to let you know why we are going to continue to watch between March 16th, March 17th, March 18th, and now that we have arrived at the Equinox on March 20th, we're going to continue watching between here and March 23rd. Okay, so this watch time continues. We are on extremely high watch each and every day. I think the news came out yesterday that Russia, for the first time, has used hypersonic missiles on Ukraine, and things are continuing to escalate on the front of war. So we do not see anything calming down. It's just going to get worse and worse. This is what we are seeing. I think that we have arrived at the time, and we need to remain vigilant. Okay, so I just wanted to share a few things with you. Now, we have been watching up to Purim on March 18th, and this connects us with this timing of the spring equinox. But there's a very interesting detail in the story of Lazarus, and Brother Repo Man 64 has been talking about this, and other people have been talking about this, the meaning of the Equilux. Okay, the Equilux, and there's a day, a few days before the equinox, where there is actually exactly 12 hours in a day, 12 hours in a day, and 12 hours in a night. Okay, and John 11:9, Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world." Okay, and this was in John 11:9, and this is in the story of Lazarus and the raising of Lazarus. And if Lazarus represents the bride of Christ, or the dead in Christ who shall rise first, the first resurrection, then this is very interesting that this may be connected to the spring equinox, the timing of the spring equinox, the dead in Christ rising. Now, this happened on March 17th, the Equilux, where there was equal day and night. Okay, March 17th, 2022, equal day and night, 12 hours in a day, 12 hours in the night. Okay, but then the story of Lazarus continues. And here this may be our connection between the end of Purim and the Equilux to the timing of the equinox, and March 21st, March 22nd, and March 23rd. Okay, and it right in the story of Lazarus, it's the 4 days. Okay, the 4-day delay. Then when Jesus came, he found that he had been laying in the grave 4 days already. Okay, John 11:17. There's a 4-day delay. Okay, Jesus did not come at the moment that Lazarus died. He waited 4 days. Okay, so from March 17th, a 4-day delay brings us right to the equinox between March 21st and March 22nd. Okay, whether the equinox is March 20th, March 21st, somewhere in there, we're right here at this time frame. Okay, so What happened on March 22nd? We have the Abomination event that took place. Barack Obama went to Israel, signed an agreement with Israel called the Unbreakable Alliance, went into the Church of the Nativity, defiled the Church of the Nativity, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, did not bow, went in there when it's just as it says in Matthew 24:15. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place. Okay? It's a holy place. It's the birthplace of Jesus Christ. Okay? And he was standing there where he ought not to stand. He did not show respect. He did not bow. He did not bend a knee to Jesus Christ in this most sacred place, the birthplace of Jesus Christ. This was March 22nd, 2013. This also happens to be the day of the Georgia Guidestones, and it also happens to be Skull and Bones 322, and it's also connected to the movie The Purge. Every year, the Purge happens on March 21st, going in from March 21st in the evening, going into the morning of March 22nd. This is the Purge. Okay, the Purge opening credits show the date, March 21st, 2020, and then this is the same time frame. At the beginning of the pandemic, the state of California was officially locked down on March 21st. Other states were to follow. We found, as we were watching the beginning of the pandemic, March 11th, when they proclaimed the pandemic as a global disaster, then all of the lockdowns began at the time of the spring equinox. March 20th, March 21st, there was 70 countries. We did the research and we shared about it at that time when we were watching in 2020. By spring equinox of 2020, there were 70 countries in lockdown. Okay, so the spring equinox was a time that they began enforcing all of the COVID mandates and rules and lockdowns, and okay, and so this is connected to the movie The Purge as well. And then one other piece of information that someone sent to me is that all of the world wars, okay, there's a 68 code. The world wars, there's a 68 code in all of them. World War I started July 28th, 1914. Okay, so if you add up all of these numbers, it's 28 plus 7 plus 19 plus 14 is equal to 68. World War II started September 1st, 1939. So you add 1 plus 9 plus 19 plus 39 and you come to 68. Okay, now in 2022, in March 23rd, 2022, 23 plus 3 plus 20 plus 22 is 68. Okay, now I saw this, that some people were showing this connection to the date in February, but in February, the war began on February 23rd. Okay, February 23rd in February. And so if you add up that code from February and the day that Russia began the invasion of Ukraine, it actually only adds up to 67. 23 plus 2 plus 20 plus 22 is 67. So if you go another month and you come to this time frame of the equinox and you come to the time frame of 322 Skull and Bones Georgia Guidestones, March 23rd is 68. Okay, now the other thing about Obama's trip to Israel that connects between March 22nd, well, March 20th, because he arrived in Israel on March 20th. He signed the Unbreakable Alliance and made an agreement with Israel, and he went into the Church of the Nativity on March 22nd. And then when he left Israel on March 23rd, where did he go? He went to Petra in Jordan, which is known to be the place that the Jews will flee during the time of the tribulation. So Obama went to Petra on March 23rd. Okay? Is that the sign of the Great Tribulation beginning on March 22nd and March 23rd? Where, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, may your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. So we've got this connection to the spring equinox, and then all of these signs that go with it to show us why we should remain vigilant for the next number of days, because we may have arrived at the time of our departure. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you. If you have any new comments, thank you to Brother Kevin, who sent me that picture, that amazing picture of the dove in Scotland. That many comments came through that video. If you want to read the comments, one of the comments was that that's amazing that that sign came in Scotland, because Scotland represents being scot-free, and it's a sign of deliverance, being released of our chains and released of our guilt, and it's the sign of deliverance from Scotland. And then if you liked that music that was put together with that video, I found it very interesting that I actually found it. I was searching for a song to go with that picture that I wanted to share with you from Psalm 55, and the people that sang that song, okay, in the description box I put there, it's the Scottish psalmist, and it's a couple. It's a couple, a man and a woman, who sing together. One plays, one sings, and they are Scottish. And I thought that was amazing that I found a song that goes together with the sign in the heavens, which came in Scotland. Okay, so I just think that the Lord is coordinating so many things right now to give us understanding, and we are here right now. This remains a high watch time, and we do hope and pray that we're still within this time frame, that over the next few days will be the time of our deliverance. So I just wanted to share all of this information with you. I pray you're blessed today. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.